Good morning, everyone. Amazon. Flash briefing.
Jamie, here's your flash briefing. From NPR News. Live from NPR News in Washington, I'm Corva Coleman. The death toll from this week's earthquake and aftershocks in Turkey and Syria has now risen to more than 19,000 people. Rescuers are still trying to free survivors trapped in heavy building rubble. The status of people in northern Syria is not well known. Parts of the area are controlled by rebels who are locked in a civil war with the Syrian government. Syria says
you mean
it
that
must
place that the
control
United
the
States is
flow of
occupying
relief aid into
half
that
of?
country.
The
But
rich
UN
all
envoy
have?
Derek Peterson rejects that.
Emergency response must not be politicized. We must instead focus on what is needed urgently to help men, women and children, those who we can still save, those whose lives are devastated by one of the most catastrophic earthquakes the region has seen in a century.
The UN convoy with relief aid has entered the rebel-held part of northwest Syria. President Biden heads to Tampa, Florida today to talk about Medicare and Social Security. He's following up on points from his State of the Union address this week. Biden says a few Republicans want to cut back on the entitlement programs, but GOP leaders have distanced themselves from that idea. A new House panel dedicated to, quote, the weaponization of the federal government holds its first hearing today. As NPR's Lexi Shapiro reports, the panel is part of a larger Republican push to increase scrutiny of the Biden administration.
The new subcommittee is expected to probe claims of alleged political bias in the Department of Justice and FBI. This hearing will include testimony from former FBI agents as well as current and former members of Congress. Republicans have voiced a long list of concerns, alleging the department mishandled allegations against former President Donald Trump, abused its surveillance powers, and targeted parents who spoke out at school board meetings. But Democrats say the hearing and the broader Republican push to investigate the Biden administration are more about scoring political points than accountability and oversight. Lexi Shapiro, NPR News, Washington.
Renowned songwriter Burt Bacharach has died at the age of 94. In a career that spanned decades, Bacharach's melodies remained popular long after he composed them. NPR's Elizabeth Blair has this appreciation.
Burt Bacharach was behind an astonishing number of hits, many of them written with his partner Hal David for singer Dionne Warwick.
Instead of standing up for the public,
Bacharach won Grammys and Oscars. He grew up in New York. His father was a columnist. His mother was a musician who insisted her son practice his cello, drums, and piano. His distinctive melodies appealed to generations.
What the world needs now.
Burt Bacharach had plenty of love in his life. He was married 4 times. Elizabeth Blair, NPR News.
You're listening to NPR News from Washington. North Korea has revealed what appears to be new ballistic missiles in a military parade held in Pyongyang. NPR's Anthony Kuhn reports from Seoul. The event marked the 75th anniversary of the founding of North Korea's army.
Intercontinental ballistic missiles, or ICBMs, believed to be capable of hitting the U.S., and short-range missiles capable of delivering tactical nuclear weapons rolled through Kim Il-sung Square during the military parade. A new kind of missile, which experts believe to be an as yet untested solid-fueled ICBM, also made an appearance. In December, North Korean leader Kim Jong-un pledged to produce atomic bombs and missiles in greater quantities, and the record number of ICBMs in the parade seemed to bear that out. Kim's wife and young daughter, Kim Joo-ae, accompanied him in an apparent suggestion that new generations will carry on the Kim family's rule over a nuclear-armed North Korea. Anthony Kuhn, NPR News, Seoul.
Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky is concluding a trip to Western Europe. He's in Brussels today, speaking to members of the European Parliament. Zelensky wants fighter jets, something NATO members have not yet provided. But Britain's Prime Minister says the United Kingdom is willing to train Ukrainian fighter pilots. Russia is rejecting claims by the United States over the New START treaty governing nuclear weapons. The U.S. says Russia has not allowed inspections as the treaty specifies. Russia says U.S. travel sanctions over the war in Ukraine are impeding these inspections. I'm Corva Coleman, NPR News.
What's happening on NPR Podcast? More neighborhood.
More identities,
Amazon.
more perspective.
Skip.
In NASA news, NASA has selected Navarro Research and Engineering Incorporated of Oak Ridge, Tennessee, for the Environmental Compliance and Operations 3 ECO 3 contract, which provides environmental restoration program services and other support at the agency's White Sands Test Facility in Las Cruces, New Mexico. NASA has selected Autonomic Integra of Gaithersburg, Maryland, for specialized scientific support services to the Goddard Institute for Space Studies, GISS, in New York. NASA has awarded the Simulation and Software Technology 3 contract to Casey Federal of Chantilly, Virginia, to provide simulation and software technology support and related services for the agency's Johnson Space Center in Houston. Students from Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. School Number 9 in Rochester, New York, will have an opportunity this week to hear from a NASA astronaut aboard the International Space Station.
Okay. Looks like I have to do
The
my-
Aerospace Safety Advisory Panel, ASAP, an advisory committee that reports to NASA and Congress, issued its 2022 annual report Tuesday, February 7, 2023, examining the agency's safety performance, accomplishments, and challenges over the past year. In weather. In Seattle, it's 45 degrees Fahrenheit
With
with cloudy
sprinkles.
skies. Today's forecast calls for more of the same, with a high of 56 degrees and a low of 43 degrees.
And some
NASA.
sprinkles here and there.
NASA has selected Navarro Research and Engineering Incorporated of Oak Ridge, Tennessee, for the Environmental Compliance and Operations 3 ECO 3 contract, which provides environmental restoration program services and other support at the agency's White Sands Test Facility in Las Cruces, New Mexico.
All right.
NASA has selected Autonomic
Amazon.
Integra of
Off. Amazon, tell us a joke.
Why does a baby deer follow its mother? Because it's so fond of her.
Okay, well, probably makes sense. I'm just gonna say. All right. Have a wonderful day.